members that are there. But if you're in a big squad, chances are you'll always have someone there. I'm like purposely driving slow because I don't feel like passing this guy, because I don't want him to think a scooter's trying to race him. But whatever, he's too slow for me. So yeah, like people complain about the size of the maps and you have to run so you don't. First of all, once the battle gets going, chances are all the action is going to be over where it should be, and you can just spawn straight there because you can spawn on your squad members, which is cool. So you're constantly spawning right in the middle of battles and it's instant action. And worst case scenario, you're in a small squad or you're not in a squad because you can't find one. Well, chances are you're one of the few people who's spawning back at base. And chances are, if you look around, there's probably a quad or a light tank or a helicopter that you can jump into and shoot right over to the action again, and this time in style, because you'll be flying in on a quad or something. You know, it's just, you see these complaints that people write, and you're like, did you play the game for longer than 10 minutes before giving up on it? Because if you had, you would have figured out that isn't a valid complaint. Yeah, Bad Company 2 just kills Modern Warfare 2 in so many ways. And it's just amazing. Everyone who plays it loves it. It's simple as that. And like everyone and then half the people that play Modern Warfare 2 complain about it. It's weird. It's like a love-hate thing. People play it and then talk about how much they hate it, but they keep playing it. So it's weird. It's like, I don't get that. I played it and I just stopped. Simple as that. I don't play it and then just go on and on and on. What is this guy doing, man? He passes me kind of aggressively, and then he just drives in my lane without passing anyone and blocking me in. Yeah, Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 is such, like, you know, even if you've been playing for months, you still get these moments when you're like, ooh, that was so cool. Fun things to do in Bad Company 2 would be, you're like, you see some guy run into a house, and you shoot your grenade launcher on the bottom of your, like in the bottom of your M16, you got like a grenade launcher, and you start shooting it at the house, blowing holes into the side of the house, like blowing out walls, looking for the guy who's inside the house. That's fun, especially when it happens perfect. Like you see some kind of guy, you see a guy kind of like run past a window, and you're like, So you shoot a grenade at one of the walls, roughly where you think he is. Oh, yeah, just fucking ride right beside the fucking bus. Yeah, do the exact same fucking speed as the bus. Just blocking everyone else out. That's perfect. Okay, what is with these people, man? Pass the bus or slow down. You don't ride beside a bus. It's a big-ass, 5-ton chunk of fucking steel. And the last place you want to be is beside it. It moves over, Just make a choice, man. You want to pass it? You don't want to pass it? You don't want to pass it? Back off. You want to pass it? Pass it. Don't just ride beside it. And yeah, so somebody runs by a window, and you think to yourself, okay, maybe they're about here in the house. So you take out the wall, and then they still can't. And then there's you gotta wait for the dust to settle. You just blew up a wall. There's a lot of dust and smoke. And then when the dust and the smoke starts to settle, then you see the guy inside, and you shoot him, and that's cool. Yeah. Or people will go into a house, they'll set up demolition charges they'll blow up most of the walls on the outside of the house, and then they'll run in and then they'll set demolition charges on the few supporting walls, and then they'll wait for some enemies to run at the house and then blow out those walls, and the whole house will collapse on them, crushing everyone inside. That's cool. Sniping is cool. Sniping someone through a wall is cool. If you've got it tries to use fairly realistic physics. So if it's just like a regular house wall that's made of like wood and plaster and whatnot, you can shoot someone straight through a wall, which is always cool. When some guy runs behind a wall and you're shooting at the wall, and then it says, you killed so and so, and you're like, yeah. And then the physics, blowing up fast-moving vehicles and then having the vehicle fly through the air and like crush someone else, or fly through the air and then hit like a wall and break part of the break the wall. That was one of the coolest things I ever saw. I was on a road and I heard a vehicle like coming towards me. I was an engineer, so I had a rocket launcher, and I heard a vehicle coming down the street towards me, but I hadn't seen it yet, but I heard it coming. So I got down on I squatted, pulled out the rocket launcher, and I'm aiming it down the road. And all of a sudden, like around the corner comes this Humvee. and it's flying along. It's doing about 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, and it's flying straight at me down the road because I'm squatted in the middle of the road. So I shoot it with the rocket launcher. It goes, and if you've played Bad Company 2, you've probably seen vehicles do this before. They do it. It flew up in the air, end over end, and it actually went over me. So it's driving towards me to like crush me. I shoot it with a rocket launcher. The explosion causes it to launch in the air, end over the end, and it flies over my head. So I'm like following it up over myself. And then as I turn behind me, what are you doing, asshole? So it flies end over end, and then it hits a house like that's behind me. It kind of flies over and hits one of these like houses here, and then part of the house crumbles and then falls onto the street. So I'm just like, that was so cool. That really just blew me away. It was like the first time in Grand Theft Auto back in the day when the first, not the first one, but the first 3D one came out, when you steal a car and you accelerate so quick you don't have time to shut the door, and then later on you shut the door, you hit the brakes for something, and you see the guy reach his arm out, grab the door, and slam it shut, and you're like, whoa, did he just do that? First time I saw that, I was blown away. Just the detail in that of like getting in a car so fast and hitting the gas that you don't have time to shut the door, and then later on when you are slowing down for some other reason, you have time to reach out and shut the door. There's little details like that are super cool. And in this game, yeah, like just the physics of a car flying through the air, bouncing off a house, and part of the house crumbling and leaving like debris on the street. It was just awesome. Anyways, Bad Company 2. If you don't have it, get it. Most people say shooters are, you should only play shooters on computers. Shooters on computers, and I don't. There are some reasons that the shooters are better on consoles. One of which would be graphic advantage. You know what some people do? Like in games that have smoke and dust that obscure vision, people will purposefully turn the graphic settings down. If you turn your graphic settings down far enough, it eliminates grass, it eliminates bushes, it eliminates smoke, because you just tell it, my computer's not powerful enough to draw grass or smoke or all these extra details, so take them all out. And then what you end up having is that person, their map is bare. So you're hiding behind a bush, but for that person, they've scaled back their graphics so much that the bush isn't even there, so they can just see you sitting there behind nothing. And then you set up a smoke screen and you're trying to hide behind some smoke, but their graphics settings are set so low that smoke doesn't even register. So again, you're hiding behind nothing. But when you're playing on a PlayStation or Xbox, you know that what you see is what they see, and everyone's got more of an even playing field, and I like that. Anyway, so that's a few different topics. Maybe might have to cut this video. I'll cut you.